Hey out there, Facebook land. How you guys doing today? This is Gail Gentry, online marketing professional, helping baby boomers create the online businesses of their dreams so they do not lose their retirement fund. Or outlive their retirement fund rather. And I am coming to you with a special report. This is about Cuba travel. As you guys know, hey, Jason Gazaway, how you doing? As you guys know, I'm also a travel agent as well as an online marketer. And part of my goal here is to help, baby boomers realize their online dreams through their business. So if this is your first time catching me live, type in the number 1 in the comment stream. Hey, Marvin, how you doing? If this is your second time, or if you're a seasoned vet, type in the comment stream vet. And if you're catching me on the replay, type in hashtag replay in the comment stream so I can be sure to follow up with you after this broadcast is over with and re-engage you. Also, this is a new form, so if I'm looking all over the place, that's because I'm looking for the camera. So I can look into the right place. So it's not looking like I'm, over here somewhere. So, hey, how you doing, Amy? Thank you for joining. So today, Cuba. Travel or bust. So I got my travel agent hat on today, and I just got some news with regard to travel to Cuba for us United States, U.S. citizens. I know Cuba travel is a big deal these days, and everybody who's wanting to go to Cuba and, try on something different, a different destination. Cuba has been pretty much, since the blockade in 1959. Hey, Helen, how you doing? Hey, Ria, how you doing? Since the blockade in 1959, travel to Cuba by U.S. citizens has been greatly diminished or pretty much cut off. And recently, during the Obama administration, diplomatic relations have been restored to a certain degree with Cuba. And now people are looking to travel to Cuba on a regular basis. Still, American citizens aren't allowed to travel to Cuba as tourists. You have to go for another reason, like either it's a cultural exchange or, it's a business reason, or you're going there for education. So you can't just be going there just as a tourist. That's still, the case with the current situation. But the blockade is not as, as strenuous as it used to be. So type in the comment stream, what it is, the main thing you want to know about traveling to Cuba, the main thing that you're looking for with regard to travel to Cuba. Please feel free to share this video out for folks, because Cuba is a pretty popular destination these days. Please feel free to share this out for people traveling to Cuba, may want to get some information on what they need to do to get there. So if you're traveling to Cuba via a land situation, meaning you're taking an airplane to Cuba, there's a couple of things to keep in mind. First, obviously, you need a U.S. passport. You also need to have a travel certification document that indicates what your purpose is for travel to Cuba. You can't just, willy-nilly go about. You have to have some sort of arrangement. Somebody has to take you on some sort of trip or escort you to a certain degree. You're not just left to your own devices there in Cuba. That is, if you are a U.S. citizen. Now, if you're from Europe, from the U.K., Australia, Canada, they freely go back and forth with through Cuba, but not U.S. citizens because of, recent diplomatic relations with that country. So that's one thing. You have to have a travel certification. It's called the OFAC document. I can't remember what OFAC stands for, but that's put out by the US Treasury Department. And when you check with your travel agent, they should have that information for you. You need to fill out a travel certification form. You need to have 2 copies, an original and a copy. So you want to have that when you travel to Cuba. Again, if you're getting value, type in the comment stream, value in the comment stream. Hey, Karen, how you doing? Kareen, Sophia, how you doing? Welcome to the broadcast. You want to have that. Another thing you have to have, like I said, you need to have a passport. You need to have a travel certification while you're going to Cuba. You also need to have a visa in order to travel to Cuba. And the cost of that visa is about $75 at minimum, and that's because the Cuban government requires the visa to be complete either, when you arrive in the country right there at the airport or the cruise ship, or you need to arrange that before you leave. Hey, Roger, how you doing now? Most times when you travel out of the country, your passport needs to be valid for 6 months from the date of travel. So if you're traveling in January, your passport must be valid through July of that same year. Otherwise, you will be denied entry. Also, if you don't have your certification form, you will be denied entry into Cuba. if you're on a cruise ship and you're, like on a Royal Caribbean or a Norwegian or a Carnival cruise line, they have different rules, different things. Also, if you are a citizen born in, hey Edward, how you doing? Hey Yolanda, how you doing? If you were born in Cuba and then became a naturalized citizen in the United States, there's some special rules for folks like that were born in Cuba and then got naturalized citizenship here in the United States. There are some different rules associated with that type of arrangement that you need to have addressed before travel back to Cuba. All right. So there you go. So there's that. Then if you go to Cuba on a cruise ship, you not only need to have the travel certification. If you are planning on getting off the ship, once it docks in Cuba, you need to have an excursion. You can't just get off the ship and decide, hey, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go there. You have to have a prearranged excursion before you get off the ship, and you have to have the Cuban visa prior to disembarking from the ship. And the cost of that right now is $75 directly with the U.S. or with the Cuban government. If you make arrangements prior to with a passport service or a visa service, their fees are in addition to that amount. It could be upwards of $100 to $200 or somewhere around there, depending on who you use. I strongly encourage that if you're going to be traveling to Cuba and this is your first time going there and you're not quite sure, what to do or how to get around, I strongly encourage that you arrange your travel with a travel agent to make sure that your travel is taken care of, because you know what they say, when you travel without a travel agent, you travel alone and you're kind of left to figure this stuff out on your own. You don't want to be caught. Hey, Robert, how you doing? You don't want to be caught all the way in Cuba trying to figure it out on your own, okay? I mean, you really don't, right? So again, feel free to comment, share this video and pass it out, for folks that may be traveling to Cuba and not quite sure what to do in order to get there or what documents may be required, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, another big, huge thing is they do not accept U.S. credit cards in Cuba. You can only use cash. Now, here's the deal with the cash. In order to convert your dollars to Cucs, that's their currency there in Cuba. It's called Cucs, C-U-C. There is currently a 13% surcharge in order for you to do so, and any other exchange rate issues, et cetera, et cetera. So it's best for you to convert your U.S. dollars to European euros or Canadian dollars prior to travel, and then, hey Mike, and then convert your euros or Canadian dollars to Cucs once you arrive in Cuba. Again, they do not accept U.S. credit cards. Therefore, you have to only spend cash there, and you get a better situation if your currency that you're converting is European euros or Canadian dollars versus the U.S. dollar, because there is an additional surcharge. Right now, it's at 13%. That number could go up at any time. No indications of when that will happen or if it will happen, but just so you know, that is the current situation right now. So I hope that helps you if you're looking to go to Cuba. Those are things that you need to do. Those are things that you need to have ready for yourself. Please feel free to share this out, to folks that's looking to go to Cuba and they may be unawares and, not necessarily know what they need to do in order to be prepared when they go there. Again, check with your travel professional. If you don't have a travel professional, please feel free to reach out to me via Messenger. Hey, Sonia, how you doing? Or, here, on this comment stream, I'll be happy to help you with your travel arrangements there. Also, too, if you're ever wanted to have a travel agency of your own, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to show you how you can get started in the travel business as well, with the support that you need and training so you can be successful in your travel business. So that's all I got today. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys have a great day. And again, please share this out with anyone and reach out to me if you're looking to make travel to Cuba, or you have any other questions in this regard as how you travel to Cuba. All right. You guys have a great day. Hey, Michelle, how you doing? All right. Talk to you next time. Bye.